Hilltoppers, this month's update is something a bit special. Last month, during South by Southwest EDU, 3 enterprising Hilltoppers took second place at the inBloom Codeathon. Seniors Hunter McLaughlin and Sergio Azua and junior Hunter Skrasek all competed against 7 teams and a total of 25 talented developers, all posed with the challenge of how to improve education through technology. Their app, inCom, was designed to tackle this problem by using communication to prevent struggling students from falling through the cracks. All 3 members of the Hilltoppers team also happen to be student workers for OIT. I'm here with Hunter Skrasek and Hunter McLaughlin to learn more about this accomplishment and the process of developing an app worth $3,000 in just 48 hours. Hi, Hunters. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having
us. And tell us a little bit about yourselves. What's your major? How did you decide on St. Edward's University?
Well, I'm an entrepreneurship major. I'm 22 and I graduate in December. And I came to St. Edward's in January 2011 as a transfer student, and I was just looking for something new, and this seemed like the right place.
And I am 20 years old, aiming for a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. I graduate next year in May, and a few of my friends came here. They mentioned it was a great campus, so came around, did a tour of one of the overnight stays, and just the general family feel. I wasn't even going to school there, and I already felt like I was part of the family, so it seemed like a winner from the start.
Aside from schooling, how do you prepare for a hackathon? Aside from going to classes, for years or...
Well, generally, if it depends on the hackathon. Sometimes it's just here's what you need to do, but you can do it however you want to. Ready, set, go. If there's a general goal, then just kind of start thinking about how you would approach it before you start, do a little bit of research. But sometimes, in this case, we had to use the inBloom API. So they sent us links to their developer portal, which in turn had links to the documentation of just how the API works and what information you can get from it, and just et cetera, et cetera. And you just study that as much as you can before, and then just go from there.
And what exactly does your app do?
So
more or less.
They gave us 10 scenarios to choose from, and we picked the best ones after consulting with some teachers that were available there. And our app sends notifications to parents, and the parents are able to reply to the teacher in regards to different things. So if they failed a test, it'll send a notification to the parent that says they failed a test, and then a tutoring session's been set up to fix that or to remedy that issue. Another thing it does is for attendance, we have this really neat interface that we created where it starts off all gray, and then if they're there, you can say green, and if they're not there, you can say red, and if they're tardy, they're yellow. So it sped up the process of beginning classes significantly.
And this is developed for what platform? Is it for PCs or
it can be used on
smartphone?
Cross-platform.
It's cross-platform, so it can be used on a computer, iPad, iPhone, Android device.
Is it browser-based?
It's browser-based, yes.
Cool.
It'll work in Firefox, Chrome, Safari, and theoretically Internet Explorer.
You and I believe Sergio, who couldn't be here today, are both computer science majors.
That's correct.
But you're an entrepreneurship major. So what is it that you brought to this team that they perhaps were not enough to fulfill?
So they could focus on coding the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much took care of the user interface issues and all of the talking and figuring out what we needed to do over the entire 3-day event. So I figured out all the event times and pretty much administrated that, and then I would go in and make sure their stuff worked. So I'd double check it and see if there was errors, and just give opinions on different things.
Yeah. So as we uploaded changes to one of my personal servers I own, he would go in and basically try to break it or make sure things worked how it was supposed to work. He would give us the general idea of we need to do this, and then Sergio and I would go, okay, and then just start rolling with it and come up with get the basics down, and then start coming up with our own twist on it to make it very user intuitive and friendly.
And now that the app is developed, what's happening with it? What's going on there?
So it's currently sitting in one of my public GitHub repositories. It was one of the stipulations of the Codeathon was that it was uploaded to public repo. Basically, for now on, if there's say a competition down the road is these guys are working on something similar to what ours was, and they need some guidance or not sure where to go with it, they can say, well, if you check out this URL, these guys did something kind of like what you're thinking of doing, and maybe it'll give you some insight or some inspiration. And it basically just comes like a resource for future competitions, or any of our friends can hack around with it.
Yeah, for example, one of my friends, the day after it was uploaded, he sent him a really, really long message
On Facebook.
Because he had already downloaded what he had uploaded, and he was already changing stuff to suit his needs, basically.
Yeah.
So it's open source.
It's open
now.
source,
It's all
yes.
open source.
Oh, wonderful.
That was part of the
He's-
stipulation.
Yeah, and he
I'm
was
a fan.
Yeah, he was trying to learn PHP still, and had a few questions, and he asked me, so I told him once I am fully awake, I will gladly help you.
App development is obviously something you guys are interested in, I assume, or you wouldn't have even participated in this. And how has this experience changed the way that you're going to go about that in the future, or do you even still want to go about it in the future?
I definitely would like to continue developing apps. Not exactly sure how it could have changed anything. I will say though that throughout all the classes and everything, we've learned how to do various things, and we applied them to assignments, or the assignments helped us hone those skills, but we never really got to use what we learned in class too much in real life. So this was the first time I actually got to use my education, and it wound up paying off because we got second place in the Codeathon. So that was actually oh hey, this is going to college and learning all this is actually having a payoff, and I don't have to wait till I graduate and then get a job to see that happen. It was this is working out very well. Yeah, it's
Nice.
instant gratification. I'm obviously doing something right, and I've learned what I needed to learn, and I want to finish off my learning to become even better.
So it was a good experience.
It was
Oh, yeah.
fantastic. Yeah,
Oh, great.
it was great.
Want to get involved in a hackathon yourself? Register for Austin's National Day of Civic Hacking, June 1st and 2nd, right here on St. Edward's campus. Visit the URL on the screen to learn more and to sign up. Hope to see you there!